Welcome everyone to the first live Q&A with Agri spray drones. We're here in Louisville at the National Farm Machinery Show, and we're here to answer some questions. So to start out, we have Zach over here, Nathan, our guest, Chase Plummer. He's a dealer for us out of Indiana, and my name is Tanner Spires. So do you guys want to start out with how the show's going?
Yeah, sure.
So this is Nathan's first time being in Louisville and actually being at a farm show at all. So talk about how you like being at a show.
Honestly, I was kind of thinking about it on our way back from the show. And what I feel like I like the most about it is, since I'm a technician, being in the tech room, a lot of times I talk to people who are who wrecked or have something bad. So it's nice to go out and talk to people about what the drone does, talk about it in a more fun manner, I guess you could say, instead of on
like the downside. To them when something really
tragic
just happened to them.
It's nice having techs in the booth with us. I mean, being in sales, we see and hear a lot, but you guys hear the most. You guys are answering most of the calls. You guys are the ones on the front lines talking to people in the summer. So it's nice to have you guys in the booth and be able to answer questions like that.
Yeah.
And be able to meet everyone. I mean, you guys got to meet a lot of customers today that we work with quite a lot.
Yeah. And it's nice seeing like friendly faces too. Like we had that one guy. What was his name? Was it Josh? What was his name? But he came to us, fixed his drone, and he stopped by, talked to us for a while. Because he was super worried when he originally wrecked. He thought, like most people are, drone wrecks that first time, they think it's done. They think it's total. They're finished. We were able to get him repaired, and now he's looking into getting another one. Our plans on getting another one. He was telling me his plans for how he's changing his operation from the first year to the second year. So I also like seeing those old faces.
Those wrecks most of the time look way worse than what they really are.
Oh yeah.
You can't convince yourself of that at the time, but they do happen, and when they do, most of the time they look a little worse.
Yeah.
Than what they are.
I mean, even for us, there's times people come in with just like a broken arm and some props and some landing gear, and it's like, that's about an hour and a half of work right there. And they'll come in and be like, you think you can fix it? It's like, oh yeah.
The people that come from far out of town just for our service, you tell them, yeah, we can probably have it done today for you. They're like, oh, I thought I was going to go home and get it back in a couple of weeks, but we saw them out the door that night.
Yeah. Well, the way things have changed since we first started, I mean, we were still getting drones out same day usually, but it was only two of us, and we were getting 3 or 4 drones out the door every day, trying to at least. Now having multiple techs in the shop has really helped. I mean, you can each get probably 2 or 3 done a day when it's only a minor accident. Larger accidents, yeah, they can take a little bit longer, but you guys do a great job of getting them out.
Yeah.
Especially during the busy season, you need those people on specifically drones and the calls. So we're making sure customers get the service they need.
I will say I've talked to a bunch of people, and they say, well, what happens if I wreck one, and when I wreck one, and this and that. And these guys in the tech room are good. They'll have you parts most of the time the next day, and if you don't know how to put it back together, most of the time they'll walk you right through how to put it together. And just like the shock in people's faces has been really kind of cool to see, and then when I can speak from personal experience, it's a really good thing as well.
Well, aside from the tech part of being in the booth, what do you like about the sales part? This is really your guys' first sales adventure.
Yeah. I really just like the same thing, like actually being able to talk about the product, like what it does, because we have some people call in and ask some questions, but it's nice to go and just like see what people are actually like talking to someone who doesn't know. I never get to talk to people who don't know. It's usually people who do know and just want a little help with something. But going and really talking through the whole process has been a lot of fun for me, because there's some people that come up and they're like, yeah, I've seen these, but I know nothing about them. So going through that whole thing, like, probably for salespeople, it's a little boring when people ask, like, so how much does this thing hold?
The more shows you go to, you'll understand.
Sure.
We get the same questions from 500 people a day, but it never really gets boring. Every person we talk to brings a new personality to it and a new side to the conversation. We get to hear people talking about crazy things they want to do with these drones, all legal, but we get to find new adventures that are going on, and it's fun, especially at a show this large. You see every type of person that is going to be using these drones in agriculture and every other industry that we have drones in. So, and a lot of them that come to us and say that they talk to us and we're the ones that convince them to buy these drones and get into these new emerging markets like greenhouses, painting greenhouses. And we were one of the first to do that in the U.S. And we had a couple customers just today come up and say about a drone, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that type of stuff in shows like this.
So that was actually something I want to talk to you about because this is my first show. And how do you feel like it's changed from when it was your first show, like 2 years ago? Because I know you guys told me it used to just be Agri Spray there. Like, we were the only ones selling drones there. We were the only ones you could see. But not only that is no one had any idea about spray drones. Because surely that's changed. Like, has questions changed being asked?
Questions have changed. Normally they stay the same most of the time.
Mhm.
Same acres per hour, how much does it cost, what can I get done, what can I do with this, what price can I spray. But we've lost some of the questions that didn't really make sense. Can I put a gun on this? Can I ride it? All those questions have gone away, so it's a lot more serious questions.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest difference is just the amount of people selling drones now, of course.
Yeah.
Back when we first started in 2021, it was really us and maybe a handful of companies, and we were really the only ones that we would see at shows. So people would come up and they had no idea what we were selling. They had no idea what the drone was. Most of them didn't know it was a sprayer drone to start out with. So seeing the industry grow for the past 3 years in shows has been really fun to watch, but it's also created a lot of competition, which competition is good.
Mm-hmm.
And you get people saying, but this booth said that, and this booth said that, and we all talk about different things at our booths. So it's great to see the industry just grow up that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing from the sales side, back up a little, that I've really enjoyed about working the show is the people that come by and they're just kind of eyeing the drone, and you just start up a little conversation with them. And at the start of the conversation, are you guys interested in drones? No, not really, And then they stand there and talk, and before they leave, they want to sign up to get, some free mail stuff or some email stuff as well. And, the price point's not that. Why don't you send me a quote? And just all of a sudden, a guy that didn't come to this farm show to look at a drone or interested in a drone is now all of a sudden interested in a drone.
Mm-hmm.
That has been a cool thing to me on the sales side of it.
Another thing that's new with shows nowadays is people are actually doing the research before they come.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they have questions written down, they're ready to talk to us, so they're coming to the show just to see us and to get a deal done. We talk to these people on the phone all the time, but of course being in person helps out a lot. Seeing the drone, actually meeting who they're going to be talking to every day. But that's been one big difference, is people actually being prepared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays we're seeing more prepared people over people that don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I had so many people come up to me today, for example, saying they've been watching these drones throughout these last few years, and they always thought T20 didn't really make sense for them. T30, they started to get that itch. Like, does it start to make sense? And when they seen that T40, that's really intriguing. And then coming up to the booth, asking those important questions that they want answered, and then getting that quote feels their satisfaction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings up when shows we used to go to. I mean, we used to have just T20, T30. And we had the T20. It was a great drone, did a great job, but it wasn't the size people wanted. T30 came along, still wasn't the size people wanted. T40, in my opinion, is the first one that's been good enough for commercial use.
Mm-hmm.
And that's brought in not just normal customers that are doing it for their own personal reasons, only buying one drone, but bringing in people that want to start a business with this and want to buy a couple drones and quit their day job and go live their dream of running their own business, which has been great to watch over the past couple of years. I've watched people be able to buy a drone, quit their job, run their own business, hire their own employees, buy more drones, and they're doing great. And getting to talk to those people every once in a while is just another great feeling to have.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because, we look at now as the T40 is the first big one where, people are really interested. But Chase can back it up a little bit. The amount of people that I've gotten swayed more from the T40 to the T20P.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, like you said, people are a little more knowledgeable in what they do. And once you start telling them, this one's battery's going to last longer, and these smaller cut-up fields, which is what most people want the drone for, you're like, the T20P, Like, it'll do almost as many acres an hour in those fields, and you don't have to worry about battery. It's easy to carry and all that.
The Northeast guys and, you know, some of the Southern guys, when you start talking about their average field size and stuff, and their eyes kind of like, those are my fields, you know.
Mhm.
You need to shift over here. We need to look at this T20P, and then you start telling them all the information about it, and you can just see it like the wheels turning to them. And
Mhm.
Some people definitely get stuck on that bigger is better.
yes,
But then once you really dive in, we have a really good video about this actually. Check it out on our YouTube. But T20P is very good in those smaller fields.
Right.
And when we travel to shows, we're coming from mid-Missouri, where our average field size for my hometown's 60 acres plus in most areas. And we're going to shows where people are coming from 10, 20, 25 acres as their average. So we're used to T40, half-mile long rows, doing great, but the T20P fits in a lot more areas than you might think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. I've also noticed it seemed like, especially at the end of the day today, a lot more interest in the like thermal and multi-structural.
yes.
I don't know if you guys noticed that. I don't know what it was about the end of the day today, but even on the tech line, the last couple of months, we've gotten a lot more interest in those.
I think it helps with the new programs coming out, Pix4D, Agrimo, Terra, Smart Farm. They all have their instances to use,
Mm-hmm.
but you need a program to use if you're going to be using these drones. And they have multiple uses with them. Taylor's done multiple webinars where he's talked about the M3M compared to the M3T, and it's really boosted just that market alone.
The M3M is such a versatile tool to pair with the T40, T20P, because it's just plug and play. You can do prescription match, spot spray. It's really changed the game.
And I had a guy today talking about he was looking to a T40, he's been looking for a while, and then he just noticed the 3M out of the corner of his eye. We talked for maybe 2 minutes, and he decided right then and there that that's probably a smart tool for him to do some research on and think about adding to his quote.
Mm-hmm.
And he most likely will, because after about 3 or 4 minutes of talking after that, he already understood what he was trying to do, what the drone could do for him, and how he could sell that. And I think that also helps that with the research that we do and the knowledge that we send out, it's helped all the customers that we see know what they need in this industry.
Well, especially when I realize how quick it can be done. Like, you can use your M3M, go out and fly a field, upload the smart farm, put it on a controller, like super fast, just to get. I mean, if you're looking at just updated boundary like imagery and stuff, but it can happen so fast. It's not a hard process.
And people do understand that this is still a young industry that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
These drones are still not very old. There's plenty of them out there, but there's not enough research done, not enough people with their hands on them to actually have the programs that we're looking for and the right ways to do it, which will come. It'll be here soon.
Yeah.
No, I haven't felt like anybody at the show has been unrealistic about where we are at in the industry. Nobody has been like, well, we should be way up here by now. No, but everybody is pretty realistic about where we're at, where the technology is.
And it seems like the only people that want more are the people who use it, but it's usually very reasonable. Like, we talked with someone today with just some like connection points, like return to home and things like that. But that's stuff we've already discussed and talked to DJI with and adding in updates and future trims.
Yeah. And things.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, it's nothing unreasonable where it's like, oh, there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what's been your favorite part about the show in general? Maybe something that's happened, something that we've done, someone you've talked to. In my opinion, Lance stopped by the booth. And Lance has been to the shop a couple times, and he's called me late at night before, shot me late night texts about needing help on certain situations. And I've helped him out a lot. He's a great kid. And it's been awesome to see him grow and be so energetic to get out there and do something with this drone.
Absolutely.
I know you've talked with him a lot as well.
Yeah. Good neighbor friend of mine. Known him for a long time, and I'm still working on him. I'm going to talk into a T20P to put in addition to with his T40.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
You too?
My favorite part's honestly putting faces to names. As someone who's on calls a lot in the tech support room, putting faces to those names just adds a level of personality.
You missed one person today, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that, Casey.
Yeah.
Zach decided to give a sales pitch to one of our dealers for about 5 or 6 minutes.
We forgave him though.
Okay, we were in the zone, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing that happens in the show. I mean, we don't get to take many breaks, especially in Louisville. Louisville is the biggest show we go to, in my opinion. And you're up and going for, what, were you there for 9 hours a day, 8 hours a day?
Yeah, I told my wife, like, I feel like I just got there. My feet and my back say, no, you've been here all day, but I feel like there's just not a break. We've just been talking, and that has strictly been my favorite part. As you guys know, I'm a little bit of a talker. I kind of never shut up, but yeah.
No, we know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's nothing I don't know. But no, that's been my favorite part. Is it's just, it has gone by so fast, but it's just, you know, there's a new person in front of you. It's a new conversation. It's a new, different spin on this business, and they're like, oh man, I hadn't even thought of that for my own business. You know, and just, or you are able to help that one person that says, man, I've been having trouble with this, and then you're like, well, this is what I didn't know you could do that. That has been the most rewarding for me.
Yeah. That's something I've enjoyed, talking to the people who, you know, stop by. I've already bought one from us, because there's a few people that I've talked to, you know, they stop by, say hi and stuff, and I've talked to, ask them how their operation's been. And there's a couple people I've been able to give, you know, I've been told about some new updates with like the gaskets and things, which has been out, but also kind of what we've heard other people have done to make themselves more efficient. And you can see it start to click. They're like, oh yeah, I've never done that. You're right, that would work. So it's cool to continue that, like, that after sales stuff with people, but do it face to face, not over the phone or text or things like that.
Sure. I mean, the after sales part is the biggest part of our business, our company. It's what we want to strive for, and being able to do the after sales part, like you said, face to face, at shows like this, is a massive benefit for us.
I love that we're constantly working on our knowledge hub, providing that to the customers, as well as giving state-of-the-art phone support, technical support in the shop, and send out parts overnight, because we know it's an important time of the year, and if your drone's not in the air, you're not making any money.
We actually had someone stop by the booth today and said that they bought their first drone from someone else, bought their second drone from us because he wanted the Knowledge Hub. Got the Knowledge Hub, and he said it's helped his business tremendously. All the videos we have on there, all the help that we are. So that's just a great piece to hear, because we do work hard with that Knowledge Hub.
Yeah.
We do work hard making all those videos, all those documents, and it's nice to get the recognition that we do.
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing to look at it too is like, or training our users, because you know everyone, they always ask like, well, how hard is it to work on? Kind of like we talked about, like one wreck happens and they think it's totaled, and like you sit there and tell them, you sit there and tell them it's like it really is easy. And like with the Knowledge Hub and stuff, like people can go through and look at it themselves and start to realize like, I can do this. You know, most of these people, they've been working on tractors, trucks, all that their entire life. And even though this is a new product, they can do it. They just need someone to teach them, which is what hopefully we're doing. And I feel like it's what we're doing.
Well, I'm going to pivot here a little bit. Ryan, do we have any questions that we want to answer?
The only ones coming so far will be from Jimmy. He's asking, hi guys, DJI have a remote controller to support the user?
Like what we're talking with the T40 and stuff?
Possibly.
Yeah, so a lot of drones are different. Like some drones will use a laptop, some use a phone. Ours is a remote controller.
Yep.
And it's pretty handy because DJI makes it super simple. Like Chase was showing, it's like yay big, comes up with a big screen.
Super user friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing about DJI. You can pick this drone up and you can learn it in about 8 hours. And you already have everything down. You know what the settings are, you know how to map, you know how to fly. Very easy. Like Nathan was saying, other companies, they have phones, laptops that you need to use. And from what I've been told, they work great, but it's difficult to pick up and learn right then and there. I can hand the DJI remote to someone, and after about 30 minutes, they can at least get the basic knowledge down from it.
Yeah.
Especially with today's new generation, growing up gaming, growing up on their computers, phones all the time. You bring someone in that's 20 years old and give them this remote, they're going to learn it pretty quick.
Yeah.
I tell all my customers when I sell them a new drone, first drone, things like that, that, you know, sit in your easy chair, get the remote, and just play. Just, you're not going to tear anything up that can't be fixed.
That's a great tip.
Just go through, look at it, build some fields, even if they're not your own fields, just map around them,
Mhm.
and just, that's part of your practice too, when
Yeah.
you get the drone,
There's definitely some good settings on there for
Absolutely.
efficiency, especially,
Yeah.
and taking the time to go through the remote, check
Well,
everything out.
And it's learning where those settings are in case of, I don't want to say an emergency situation, but an urgent situation that you need to change something pretty quick, or you need to check and make sure that this setting's set right. You don't,
Not even urgent,
Be for
because
me.
sometimes the settings can just be changed just field by field.
yeah.
You got an L-shaped field, there's settings in there so you can fly north and south, and then when it gets to the back corner,
Yeah.
it's going to fly east and west to make it more efficient on it.
Back to the guy Nathan was talking about earlier, he said this was actually a crash of his. He lost connection to the drone, and he had his set to hover in the field, and he just never could gain connection back, and it ended up self-landing itself. So what he ended up doing after he brought his drone to us, we repaired it for him pretty quick, and he set his to continue the task, and he said it's worked wonders for him since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one of the thing with it is like what I always tell people, because everyone wants to know how efficient they are. Like, how much can you do per hour? And it's like, ideally, you're hitting the 40-some acres. Starting off, you're not. But as you get used to it, because it's fairly easy to use and get used to, you slowly start learning more things that just cut down efficiency, cut down time, and all that.
Everyone that we sell a drone to, they hear 40 acres an hour.
Yeah.
And I like to tell them, when you first get this drone, you're not going to hit that.
No.
You have to learn your own efficiency. You have to learn what works best for you. And that's for all drone users, no matter what brand you're buying. No matter what you are told that's going to hit, you're not going to hit that when you first pick this thing up.
No, I was talking to a customer today that, he was extremely happy with his drone and he loved it. And I said, "Are you doing pretty good? Are you satisfied?" And he said, "No, my acres per hour aren't where I think they should be," and so on and so forth. And I said, "Well, do you have your smart farm app?" And I said, "What are you averaging?" And he said, "About 28, I think." And anyway, he pulled his app out and we did the math.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You're doing a little better than you think." I said, "You're like 34. No, I ain't that high." I said, "The math works,
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, I didn't think I was that high." And I said, you'll pick up more over time.
Mm-hmm.
You learn what it takes when you're in the field. You learn where to park, how to park, where to land. I mean, there's a lot of things you just have to do it to know, to learn.
Yeah. Well, move on a little bit from here. Right now, we're in two locations. We're here in Louisville, of course, at the National Farm Machinery Show, but we're also out in California at the World Ag Expo. And we're having a friendly little challenge between the two teams to see who can get the most leads and talk to the most customers. They ended their show today. This was our second day, and we already passed them. So everyone know that we did
Shout
get
out.
more.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cali.
Yeah.
Bunch of chumps.
Yeah. We wish them a safe ride home, though, tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, I got another one. Can you guys talk about trailer setups a little bit?
yeah, so Chase, this is really your area. I don't really know how you got into the trailer business. Was it by accident? or-
Kind of by accident, yeah. So I've always loved to weld and fab and create things. I've always just enjoyed that. And what has happened has been customers when I got into the dealership side and I started, selling some drones, talking to some people, things like that. And naturally the conversation, as it does all the time, leads into, well, what kind of rig are you running? How are you landing your drone? How are you filling your drone? What are you doing here? And those conversations will lead into, me telling them the way I do things, my opinions. And I stress that to them. These are my opinions. These are not like facts listed anywhere. These are just my opinions of how I do things. And it led into them saying, well, do you think you could build one for me? And for a long time, I said, no. And then I had a long talk with myself and I said, you know what? You like welding, you like fabbing, you got a shop to do it in. Why don't you just try one? If it doesn't work, you don't have to continue to do it. And I mean, we've taken off from there. It's been great. We've done some bed inserts and stuff. Those are taken off pretty big where, somebody can take their already pickup that they've already got and they don't have to buy a trailer. And, they're starting out with one drone. They're wanting to keep budget low. They're not wanting to spend a lot of money. So, that's been a really good option for them. You know, our trailer builds and setups and stuff. You know, we run. I recommend, you know, open trailers. I don't recommend enclosed, but that's just me. That is strictly my opinion.
In your area as well.
And,
I mean,
yeah.
it depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I try to talk everybody through my opinions and why. You know, I'm a very big fan of top deck landing. I think that is the most efficient way for a drone that you can run. You know, the key part where a lot of people really you know, see the wheels turning is when I say, you know, you pull down a farm lane and you've got corn on both sides and there's an 8-foot lane. Well, these T40s are like 11 foot from tip to tip on the wings, and try to land 11 feet in between 8 foot doesn't work very well. And you like, oh, I had that field. You can see that's what they're thinking. I had that field. I had that lane. And then now we're back into top deck landing conversation. You
And
know,
if you even add a power line going down one lane of the road.
exactly. So, you know, it's been an accident, but it's been a really cool thing. I've talked to a lot of cool people, and you know, just that's just been what it is. I don't know if I answered all the questions there, but or what the gentleman's wanting to know, but
Might get off topic a little bit there, but I think we got it answered.
But that was.
But with trailers in general, I mean, with being around these drones since 2021 myself, we started with just enclosed trailers. We were just doing demos, doing small jobs out of them. And then I showed up to the shop one day, and Taylor has the contraption built for the trailer that we used last year. So watching trailers grow, and it's always a fun conversation to have with customers because they see our trailer that we use on our YouTube videos, and that's what they think they want. But you got to convince them that they need to think about where they're going and where they're
Absolutely.
at.
That's been the biggest thing, you know, and you talk to a lot of those guys, and well, you know, they want to get a 30-foot enclosed trailer, and well, that's fine. Tell me about your field size, you know, and if you've got small fields, I doubt that you have big open lanes to pull into and back into, and just, you know, getting those conversations out there, you know, kind of, and I'll go back a little bit too. What I enjoy this side of it because I was once that guy that I didn't know what I didn't know, and I built this big, awesome, you know, 30-foot gooseneck trailer, and it was this and it was that, and top deck land, and it was so great. And then I figured out the fields in my area, I couldn't hardly put a 30-foot gooseneck in. And so mid-season, I realized I was going to have to turn down a lot of acres, so I had to change mid-season, and boy, how I wish I had somebody that would have talked me through that, you know. So
Do the creative juices stay flowing with how everybody's trailer's different? Some people want a long trailer, some people want a truck insert.
yeah, it's you know, I pretty much tell everybody if you can dream it up, if you can write it out, if you can draw it, spell it, something, I can pretty well come up with what you're trying to accomplish.
And that's what's needed. I mean, a lot of people out there, they're making their own trailers, but it's that one trailer, that one trailer only. There's not much custom trailers being built out there.
Right.
And that's where you're changing the game at. You're actually having them draw up what they are seeing in their mind.
Exactly.
And you're building that for them.
Yeah, I always try to make sure that they have what they need, and then I will add in what they want.
And that, I think that right there, what you just said, just encompasses our company in general.
Yeah.
We take what the customer's needing, drone-wise, training-wise, licensing-wise, and we get it to them as quickly and as the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I think that you just got to be real flexible in this industry and in agriculture in general. Agriculture is changing every single day. These drones are one example of it.
Yeah. Changing all the way around.
You got a question?
All right, so you guys already kind of talked about this a little bit. Hey, Zach, somebody said in chat your fly's down.
Zach, you've got to be kidding me.
It was Taylor Moreland.
I fixed it.
We don't know who that is.
Kick him out.
All right, you guys touched about this a little bit earlier. Can you touch on the knowledge base and also knowledge hub a little bit?
Yeah. So the way it first started was our customers needed to know how to activate their drones when we ship it to them. So we made activation videos and documents and just threw them into a Google Drive and just started sharing it. And then every once in a while, Taylor would say, you know what, we need to make a video about this. We need to make a document about this. And Kit Carlson, he's head tech, shout out to him, our shop manager. he worked effortlessly on the Knowledge Hub last year when it was just a couple of us. He's done a great job with it, and of course, he's doing better every day with it. But our Knowledge Hub is focused on the customer and their needs. We have all of our research we've done, all of the planning we've done, and I mean, Zach, you helped move it over to or you helped edit it a little bit these past couple months.
Mhm.
Yep, we've been editing it, adding steps for people to follow, as well as we were working on countless documents all summer.
Yeah.
If we ran into a problem, we wrote it down, and we've been really expanding that. 200 plus documents.
And
Yeah.
our customers help out as well. They always run
yeah.
situations and things that they are looking for in the Knowledge Hub, they can't find it. And so we pretty much stop what we're doing, and we'll go make that document real quick. I mean, me and Kit, I think just did it last week. Someone called and said, I can't find this video. And we were like, whoa, we actually don't have that. And we probably should. I'm pretty sure we ran out to the tech room. We made a quick video. He edited it up. He threw it on the drive. It only took about 2 hours.
That's actually the huge part is that customer interaction. Because I know there's a time before, it's happened a few times where a customer called in and was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I did this to fix the problem. And, I go to the documents like, we didn't have that in there. And that's huge, getting that customer interaction, the people that get back to us with what they fixed. Because, you're not like proving us wrong or anything. You're helping us and helping the whole industry out. The industry doesn't work unless we help each other out. If we don't help out the customers and the customers don't help out us. So that's huge. So that interaction between them and us has been very helpful.
Especially when people send photos and videos.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, photos of all their setups, their trailers, jobs they do as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to get those images from them and be able to share them with other customers and to show how to build these businesses up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our whole goal at Agri Spray Drones is to really build up your business, our customers' business. We're doing everything we can to help them out. That's what this Knowledge Hub is for.
Mm-hmm.
Another good point here is this is going to be the T40's second season, and this will be the first drone double season.
Yeah,
So
this will be the first drone that will be widely used for 2 straight years, which means that we went through one whole season. We had all the bugs that you think of, all the questions, made all the documents, videos that we needed, and now we're ready to release it for another season. And that's going to help out all these new customers coming in for the first time ever spraying.
Mm-hmm.
And then just adding on top our online parts ordering.
Yeah.
Select overnight.
That's been
That's
a
quick.
game
Yeah.
changer. That is awesome.
It's been a
And
good.
that helps our tech room as well. 'Cause, I mean, you guys aren't taking parts calls anymore,
Mhm.
trying to get parts orders when you could be helping someone or fixing a drone and getting that out the door.
Well,
And
they
this-
still get them from me. I still call.
Oh.
And it's easier to not have that miscommunication between us and the customer.
Mm-hmm.
If they aren't saying the right term or not describing it quite
That
right.
was a big issue me and Kit had a couple years ago, and me and him were doing parts, service, and everything. They know in their head what they're looking for,
Mhm.
and they tell us what they think it is,
Yeah.
and we throw it in the box, we send it, and it ends up being the wrong part. And that's just because the knowledge isn't there.
Yeah.
The knowledge is there now, and we're helping out. We have diagrams on our website to help out. All the parts are on there, and it makes it much easier just for the normal user.
And sometimes you don't always know the name of the part, but that picture
Helps
really
big time,
helps.
yeah.
I needed a wire one time. And I didn't know what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And like looking through and I get in the Knowledge Hub and I look at the part thing, and that doesn't help. I don't know what that name is, but get on the online store and you find that same picture of what you're looking at.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what they call that.
Yeah.
And it does help.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a great thing.
Yeah.
Ryan?
All right, somebody's asking if they were to come to the show, how do they find us in Louisville?
We're booth 3007, so I believe we're in the West Wing
That is
Hall.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you walk right through the doors, take an immediate left when you get through the second big red doors, and just walk down the hallway, and we're right there
On the left.
on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right there on the left.
Yeah.
A left turn. Then
Yeah.
another left
And we're here for
turn.
2 more days. The show is from 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday. So be sure to stop by if you're in Louisville.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Any other questions? Nope.
That's all we got on our end.
All right. Well, Chase, I want to ask you. I mean, you started out as someone just interested in drones.
Yeah.
Walk us through how it was being a new user and adopting this technology.
It was it's like anything new. It was a learning curve. It was You know, this is not your traditional spraying. This is not, you know, I'm farm background, you know, was a farmer. It's not the hook up the 2-inch bill and, you know, wide open and get it, you know, it's completely different in those terms. The technology is just different. You know, aerial application is just, it's just a whole different thing. So to answer that is just the learning curve. But, you know, I was fortunate enough to start with the T30 and then went to the T40, so then I could really appreciate the added technology that came with the T40 compared to the 30. You know, the 30 was great, and that was what we had.
Yeah.
You know, but then the 40 came, and we're like, oh.
And that's the thing about drone insurance now. I mean, it's getting better every year. We're seeing
Every-
new drones
yeah.
come out every once in a while. When we first started, it was T20, and then a year later, the T30, and a year later, the T40.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a minute
Continue on.
and talk about the battery side of things. So I started with the 30, you know, and the biggest issue a lot of people had was keeping the batteries cool. And how many extra batteries do you need to, you know, let them have time to cool down and things. And one, you know, compliment to DJI is that they recognize battery technology and they recognize that it needs to get better, and they are working to get it better, putting the fins in the T40 batteries with the cooler. You know, I've been out on sometimes where you don't really even need a cooler. It just, the wind that's blowing outside is sometimes enough to cool those batteries down. And I tell everybody, you know, I feel like we're like, you know, power tools used to be 15, 20 years ago. You went to the hardware store, you'd look and you'd say corded, cordless. I don't know which one I want to get. Now today, there's no question. You go get the cordless and you go on. And I, you know, seeing this battery technology change and getting better and better and better, you know, that's been a really cool thing to see, as far as getting started and being in it for a while.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I don't know if I answered your question. I probably danced around it. I'm pretty good at taking
you
a long
did
way
really
around,
good,
you know. Yeah, but
I mean, I know as a tech, I've really appreciated the upgrades they've made from the 30 to 40. I'm working on them.
sure.
We were excited. I remember the day when we got our first T40 in. Me and Kit immediately ripped it open. Didn't waste any time. And seeing just the new technology and actually holding and getting the T40 in our hands after hearing everything about it that you can think of. I mean, false rumors, true rumors. But seeing the technology grow, and DJI is the leading drone industry. They're doing everything they can in every aspect of drones. So it's great to work with them, and we have a close relationship with them. We have issues, customer has issues, we relay that information back. They're able to get updates out on time, able to fix the issues when we need them. And they've taken a lot of tips that we've had and put them into their newer models.
I got a question, and I feel like it may be kind of hard to answer. But you're saying like rumors and stuff. As people who are making the sales, because, you know, we're not really doing it. How do you fight some of the misinformation? Because it's out there. I mean, it's easy.
I think,
Even in the tech room, we're hearing people be like, well, we heard this. It's like,
I think
where?
the fairest way to answer that is just only speak to what you know.
Mhm.
And
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's what I do. Is, you know, well, I heard the T40 does this. Well, I'm not aware of that. I know that it does this. I don't know if it does that. And, you know, normally I'll pitch to one of you guys. Have you guys heard this? Or, you know, something like that. Or if I'm on the phone with that person, I'll say, you know, I'll check with the guys and see if they've heard of that. I haven't, but, you know, only speak to what you know has been the biggest.
Yeah, and in the sales side, I mean, that's the best way to do it. You don't want to put out any false rumors, give out any false hopes of what's coming next.
Yeah.
And it's just better to keep talking about what we have until we actually get the next thing in our hands.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of questions about the T50 today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I tell them I don't know really how to talk to them about it. And I'm straightforward that, hey, you know, I think it's still only a 40-liter tank. I'm pretty sure we can lay fact to that. I mean, you know, just the things that we can lay fact to, and I'm very transparent with them on that, on the sales side of it, that, you know, this is all we know. You know, it could be this, we don't know. We're not, this is what we can lay fact on.
Yeah.
That's on the tech side. Definitely appreciate the
Oh, yeah.
no upselling, just because when their machine's not achieving what they want it to, We're the one getting involved.
Yeah.
I've been on that side. I mean, I used to
Mhm.
be able to answer sales calls, tech calls, parks calls. So I get to see all three phases of the after sales.
Mhm.
And upselling a drone, there's people out there that upsell their businesses in every type of industry,
Mhm.
and they have repercussions.
Yeah.
And we're the same way in the drone industry. And it's technology, which is an area where it gets upsold in any industry.
Mhm. Tell you what, one thing I've really noticed being at the show that people find huge, especially new customers, is that like our dealers and us is we actually use it out in the field. Like we have that knowledge. I mean, like especially with Indiana being so close, there's several people I talked to today in which you were always talking to someone else. So I weren't able to pull you away, but I was like, no, that's Chase. He's one of our dealers. He flies. Like, if you have any questions, wait for him to be done because he flies in the area. He knows the type of fields you have.
And it's been a great benefit just to the industry in general, us flying and actually doing research.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, shout out to him. He flew a couple thousand acres just last year on loan, and when he first started, and he was a big help to us actually learning the drone, learning the bugs and how to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd always come back and he's like, we need to make documents on this. Here's a video of what just happened. Here's an error that we need to figure out what happened. And we do get those issues fixed, put them in our knowledge hub, and help our customers out.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we get to help our local area, and that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just some messing around in chat. There's someone else saying you guys don't really look 21 for what you got in your hands.
We
Same
don't
guy
try
that
one,
told
but
me
that's
to
okay.
fly. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That is a great comment.
What do you mean?
There's nothing in there.
Yeah. What's in here?
It's actually apple juice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, marketing team said we can't have more than 2
Yeah.
during the show.
And they're the real bosses
Yeah.
for us during this type of show.
Yeah.
But once the show ends, it goes back to normal.
Yeah. They didn't say anything about before the show, after the show.
Yeah, we only had about 4 or 5 shots before.
Yeah.
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 Let's not forget about all the ones during.
Oh yeah. I mean, what time they started selling beer at the trade show at 11 o'clock? So
This is the one show that I can really recognize people start drinking real early.
yeah,
And you'll see people start walking around with beer around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
yeah,
And that's when the fun questions come out.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always know when that 11 o'clock hits because Ryan already has one in his hand. It's just like,
This is a disclaimer that we're all just joking here.
yeah. But it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it as my first one. My knees don't enjoy it, but
We came back to the house last night on our first day, and Nathan sat down and was pretty much ready to go to sleep at 6 o'clock.
yeah,
He didn't really understand that the trade show is actually a lot of work. I mean, it hurts your body standing on that concrete all day long talking,
hmm
and it gets tiring, but it's a lot of fun meeting everyone.
yeah.
It goes fast.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
man, when it's over, you're like, oh, I don't want to move.
I even bought new shoes for the trade show that all my roommates said looked like grandpa shoes. I was like, man, these are the comfy shoes I've ever had. And I guess they're not. So I won't shout out the brand, but yeah. And they may be getting returned. But today actually wasn't as bad. I guess I just had to break them in a little bit. But yeah, I felt pretty good today throughout the whole day.
At least with a lot of customer interaction, it distracts you from the pain a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what was it? It seemed like from about 9 o'clock to, I checked my phone and it was 12:30, and I felt like I had someone the entire time.
That's just about every show, especially here in Louisville. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's busy, and these are customers and potential customers that are being very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Back when the first shows we couple went to, we didn't really meet very serious potential clients or customers just because it was new technology.
Mm-hmm.
And back to how we talked about how they've done their own research, they know what they want to talk about, and it just helps us out a lot and being able to get through the day.
You know, those have been my favorite people to talk to, the ones that have done a lot of research and that ask very direct questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like those conversations end up being the ones the longest because they have so many questions to go over and you're able to get direct answers.
Yeah.
We definitely like the challenging questions because if it's a question we've never heard, we want to find the answer.
Yeah.
And yeah, we like to work with each other while we're in the booth. If they haven't heard a question, we'll pull Chase aside. Maybe in Indiana, some things are a little different. We also have Caleb Cantor from Kentucky as well
Yeah.
here at the show with us, and we can pull him aside and he can answer a lot of questions. And it's been great from my point of view. to see our dealers come in the booth and absolutely kill it. I mean, you guys were going crazy yesterday and today, just talking to every single person. Caleb was ripping people from the side,
Yeah.
pulling them into the booth, talking
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah, he was on fire.
Yeah.
He was on fire.
And it's just great to see you guys actually adopt this chance and this opportunity you have here.
Yeah, and I will thank you on my behalf of allowing me to come down and be a part of that
Mhm.
and help represent you guys. And you guys have done a lot for me, put up with me and dealt with me, and you guys have done very well.
I hope you're ready for the demos I sent your way.
Well,
Anyone that was kind of down there in your area is like, well, he'll do a demo, so just call him up. And
yeah.
so hope you're ready for that. You'll probably be cussing us out at some point.
No, I'll just call you.
Or
No,
when
sure.
you're, or when you're building all these trailers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine too.
Yeah.
That's fine too. Yeah. Put 10,000 miles on my truck in the next month. Hey guys, going to do another demo. Just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just means you're gonna have to get a new truck. That's a shame.
Yeah, maybe.
How's your wife feel about that?
Well, I think maybe the Moreland Fund should fund that.
Yeah. The Moreland Fund should fund a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, another case of beer.
yeah,
Apple juice, apple juice.
yeah. Well,
Maybe a keg of apple juice.
yeah.
Ryan, you got any questions?
Nothing new yet.
Nothing new yet?
We're not getting in trouble by marketing, are we?
Oh no. You
She'll
can't,
be
you,
fine.
can, you can't get in trouble there.
I don't know. Marketing's kind of scary sometimes.
Here's
Marketing's
the
been
deal.
a huge help to us, though. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they do a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't really get to see and customers don't get to see, but they've been building out, helping with our knowledge hub, videos,
mhm.
all the website information that we have out there. So,
Paying
just
business cards.
clap for them. They're doing a great job.
Definitely make our life easier.
Oh
They
yeah.
definitely do. And
I mean, what we had got a marketing team, and all of a sudden we had using HubSpot, our online store. All of a sudden we're popping up. So I
Mhm.
mean, I know I couldn't have done it all by myself, and yeah, shout out to them.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about application season. Are you going to be doing any applications this year?
Oh, absolutely.
So how are you getting prepared for that right now? I mean, you're in sales.
Yeah,
You're trying to get trailers built.
a little
and
bit
you
on
have
a
about
little
what, a month and a half until you're really hitting the ground running.
Absolutely. To prepare, going over the rig, first kind of thing, going over it, make sure. Yeah, we run RV antifreeze and all of our stuff, so our pumps don't freeze. All of the care stuff. But it doesn't hurt to go back and make sure there wasn't a little bit of ice that maybe made this fitting get a little loose. Okay, and then we do that, and then go back to the drone. Doing demos.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me in shape, flying and going to some different fields and flying around the field, or, even making some passes here and there, building fields, just things to kind of keep your brain, we use them every day for 2 or 3 months, and then we get like a 6-month break. I noticed at the start of the trade show, grabbing the T40 remote, I'm like, okay, now hang on, wait a minute here. I got to get back in rhythm. And I think I've heard a couple different customers say that. I had the one gentleman this evening from Southern Indiana that said the same thing. He said his drone's been off for a while, and okay, we need to cycle these batteries. We need to, get it out, fly it, run a battery down, bring it back up, run it back down a little bit. Just doing those things to keep everything working right and make sure everything's going to work right.
What about customers you work with? One thing about fungicide season, it's very timely.
Yes.
Planters will be coming out of the sheds. I mean, back home in
Absolutely.
Missouri, they're out of the sheds right now, getting worked on, getting ready to hit the fields in a couple of weeks. But
Yeah,
it's nice to talk to those customers and know when they're planting, so you can
Yeah.
get a timely schedule.
Yeah, and I've told all of my customers on that side of things when preparing, make sure you have some spare parts. These things are machines. As great as they are, they're machines. They're your tractor. They're your corn planter. They break. They're machines. And so, have you a spare motor or two, an ESC spare or two, an extra set of props at all time. Because it doesn't, you land on a gravel lane sometimes, it can suck that dust up and chip your blade every once in a while. Just things like that. Being prepared in those ways is as much as going out and flying the drone and making sure that you know, it's fit to fly. Make sure you have stuff to keep it flying. You know, that's been a huge thing that I've tried to get to everybody, even at the show today. That, you know, people that, you know, getting ready to spray, you know, getting ready to go. Well, you got your extra parts and stuff, and well, no, I don't. Well, I strongly think you should. You know, I think you ought to have a few things.
I guess this will be your first season going into as a dealer, actually.
Yes.
So you kind of get to see other customers start their journey,
Yes.
start their adventure,
Yes.
and see the bad parts and the good parts of that.
Yep. And I've got customers both ways that have been in the business, that have been spraying. I've got customers that have, you know, thought about quitting their day job or ready to quit their day job. Just, man, they need this season, and it's exciting to hear their excitement. So it's, I'm looking forward to this season, just from the dealer aspect side of it, to hear the guys and
That's awesome.
how it's going to work for them.
One thing that I definitely love to hear from the customers is them coming up bragging about these acre numbers that they hit last year
Yeah.
and telling us how they're going to beat them this year.
I might ask one question. What's the highest acres you guys have heard somebody come to the show and say how many acres they've sprayed?
I haven't heard much this week, but at past shows I've heard close to 13, 14,000.
Yeah.
And that's usually with 2 to 3 drones. And I mean, it's very impressive. They're out there for 10, 12 hours a day in the hot sun. I mean, people think these drones are going to go out there and they do the job themselves, of course. But it's still tough on the operator. You're still out there in the sun 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're carrying 25-pound batteries back and forth, filling it up, dealing with liquid, wearing the correct PPE.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a difficult job. It's not an easy task.
I heard a guy say 8,500 on 1-2-40 this season is what he sprayed. Yeah,
Good for
that. Yeah, and he told me that he had a few close calls, but never had a crash.
Good for him.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
What was have you ever had a crash before?
Yeah, I sure have.
Luckily, that really got you introduced, though.
Yeah, actually, you
Worked
know,
out well.
everything happens for a reason. Had it not been for that crash, I don't think I'd be a dealer for you guys.
Yeah.
You know? And
Honestly, a lot of people that are most passionate about flying the drones, I feel like, have had a horror story.
Yeah.
and I think it's appropriate to say it's not when, or it's not if, it's when.
It's a win.
You know, again, they're machines.
Mhm.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not foolproof right now.
Exactly. As bad as we want them to be bulletproof, and you're never going to have a problem. It's just that's an unrealistic thing. You don't buy a vehicle saying this car is never going to have a problem. It's
I mean, really, that's
you know,
agriculture.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah.
Your corn planter, your tractor, like I was saying, they're machines.
I grew up on a family farm back home, and I mean, during the summer when you're working out there, it's about every other day something breaks down.
Yeah.
And it's something that most farmers are used to.
Yeah.
So they understand when they get into this business that these drones, they're also machines, they'll break down. Newer customers, we have to teach them that and let them know. And it can be kind of scary when we say it's not if, but it's when you break down, this is what you're going to need to do. That's why we have videos, why we have our forums for repairs, and we do warranty in-house.
On how hard we've got to go, when we've got to go, I want to touch back on the trailers. One thing when building a trailer, building a rig, you're doing it yourself, you're having somebody else do it, whatever. Operator comfort is something that I think a lot of people take for granted. You know, hot sun, that's what made me think of it. You're out in the hot sun all day. And I tell all my new customers, you know, we're going to run hard. We're going to go daylight to dark. You know, the only breaks we're going to get is rain or wind or nighttime. But, you know, when you're out there and you're living that, I mean, there's days that we spray for 14, 15 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And going as hard as you can go, you kind of need a comfy seat. You kind of need something cozy to sit down on every once in a while. You kind of need an umbrella with a little bit of shade to keep that sun off of you. If you're in there, you know, all day and it's 90 degrees and that sun's just beating right down on you, that will wear you out and cause you to make errors.
Just
you know,
get sloppy.
could potentially cause you fatigue to make errors that you wouldn't have made if you just had a little bit more comfort. You know, I think a like anybody, everybody wants to start into something as cheap as they can, and I don't blame them. I try to do the same thing myself, but spend a little extra money on yourself to make sure, because the money you're going to make, the acres you're going to spray, the crop you're going to take care of is only as good as you keep yourself as the operator. If you can't operate the drone, it's not going to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go spray the field. You know, you've got to do it, so you've got to take care of yourself to get out there and hit those acres.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really see too many people overworking themselves in this industry, but there comes to days in July when you're spraying fungicide 102, 103 degrees.
Yeah.
You do need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you're not physically out there just, you know, heaving bales of hay and just, you know, breaking sweat and all of that, but that sun does take a toll on you just sitting in it, you know, sitting, standing, walking to the drone back. It does have its fatigue.
And day after day.
Day
It's
after
not
day.
just 100 degrees one day, it's that whole week.
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly right. When it's time to put it on and there's disease pressure, you know, on the fungicide side of things, you know, you've got to make every hour count.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're coming up on an hour. We're told to keep it to an hour. So, Ryan, do you have any questions for us?
So no questions left. Before we head out, can you guys give a shout out to Ian real fast? I believe his mom was in chat.
Shout
Oh,
out
Ian from work.
Yep. All
Yeah,
right.
we shout out Ian. Ian, he's a high school intern with us. He's a great kid. He works harder than anyone else out just with us. I mean, he's working hard every day. He's getting parts together. Most parts packages you're getting, Ian's the one packaging them up. He's getting them ready. He just walks around with his headphones on. He knows what to do, and he walks in and gets the job done.
And super willing to learn. Like, he's coming to the tech room before. It's a little slow out there. I know he's walked in one time, and Elijah was replacing 4 arms, and he was like, could I just do it? I was like, I just want to learn how to do it. Because, you know, he's picking the parts. People will ask him questions, you know, in the busy season when there's a lot of people in there. They ask him questions because he's working there, and he really wants to know how it works.
It has been great to watch him. I mean, he started last summer, and he's stuck with us throughout the whole entire winter. He's helped change over our whole entire area up in the shipping area, helped set up new processes. He's been in a couple team meetings, helped out with the team meetings and put some good questions out there. So he's been a huge help. And all of our interns have been, honestly. I mean, they come in, they're eager to learn. They want to learn about these drones, and they do a great job.
Yeah.
Ian and other returning interns are definitely going to help us give that extra service and really be beneficial this summer.
Ben comes in. He still comes in a lot, one of our interns. He does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I know it's silly, but he mows the yard a lot, which summertime, that's our busiest time. And, you know, you got people coming in. You can't have it look bad. It doesn't look good, the professionalism. So even just something simple like that, it's nice to have younger kids like that wanting to work, wanting to do things like that to help out.
Yeah, it has been great to watch Ian grow up with us.
Yeah. Shout out Ian.
Ryan?
All right. So kind of an add-on to the whole intern thing. Somebody in chat is asking, how can someone become an intern?
How can someone become an intern? I'm going to recommend you give us a call, 573-519-5000. You'll reach us that way and just express your interest in what you want to learn. I mean, we have jobs in just about every area in our company, between sales, shipping, parts, tech. I mean, the techs are looking for interns this summer. We do use a lot of interns. They're great to actually help out with the packing parts, getting parts put together, and helping repair drones as well. And especially to keep Zach on the phones, to answer everyone's calls, get him up and running again. So if you're interested in an internship, give us a call, and let's talk about it.
I also believe if you scroll a little bit down on our feed, we did make an intern post, so be on the lookout for that and should have an apply button.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We went for about an hour. I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
Chase, thanks for joining us for the first
you for
ever
having me.
Q&A with Agri Spray.
Yeah.
It's been fun, guys. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you and Caleb and all the other dealers who stopped by. We really appreciate the help.
Yeah, we appreciate all of our customers that have stopped by and talked to us as well. So thank you all and have a good night.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.